You know that feeling, right? When you see an old, abandoned building and you just feel something? Or that weird sense of calm that can wash over you in a totally empty room? Well, there's a fascinating reason our minds are so drawn to those places, and we're going to dive right into it.
It's a heck of a question, isn't it? How can a place with literally nothing in it feel so full? And how can silence sometimes feel, I don't know, heavier and more meaningful than a whole lot of noise? Let's figure it out.
Okay, so the very first thing we have to get our heads around is where that feeling is actually coming from. It's so easy to think the emotion is like baked into the walls or something. But the truth? It all starts inside of us.
That's right, an empty space, a quiet hallway, a silent room. Think of them like a blank canvas. By getting rid of all the usual noise and distractions, they create this stage where our own thoughts and feelings can finally come out and be heard.
And this leads us to a really fundamental question. Does a space just ask us to look at it, or does it invite us to actually participate?
Think about it like this. In a full, perfectly decorated room, our job is pretty simple. We just observe. The story is already told for us. But in an empty or unfinished space, our minds do way more than just look. They enter. They start to fill in all the blanks.
And that whole process, well, it actually has a name. It's called mental projection. When nobody's telling us what to see or how to feel, our minds just start projecting their own stuff onto the space. Memories, worries, hopes, all these feelings we might not have even known were bubbling just under the surface.
And this powerful phenomenon isn't just some weird psychological quirk. Nope. It's a tool that's been used by artists and architects for centuries. I mean, they've always understood the power of what's left unsaid.
Seriously, just think about it. Abandoned buildings, ancient ruins, even a plain old empty hallway. They don't scream their meaning at you, they kind of whisper, and they create this space for your own thoughts to echo. It's the exact same principle artists use with negative space, the empty areas around an object, to pull our minds right into the picture.
This quote absolutely nails it. An old ruin isn't sat on its own. It becomes a mirror. So if you're carrying nostalgia, it's going to feel nostalgic. If you're carrying a sense of loss, it's going to feel melancholic. It just reflects whatever you've brought with you.
And you see this exact same idea in art. When a sculpture is a little incomplete or a painting is super minimal, our brains instinctively jump in to finish the job. The artist isn't just showing you something, they're inviting your imagination to co-create the whole experience. That empty space, that becomes your canvas.
Okay, so let's build on this idea. Because it's not just about empty spaces, it's also about imperfect ones. Why is it that we feel this strange trust, this connection with things that are cracked or worn out or broken?
It's such a fascinating paradox. We spend so much of our lives chasing perfection, but our minds are actually pretty suspicious of it. A perfectly smooth, flawless surface can feel artificial, almost sterile, like it's hiding something,
So why does imperfection feel so honest? Well, it boils down to three key things. First, a crack or a faded patch admits that time has passed, that things have changed. Second, it shows vulnerability. It's not pretending to be invincible. And finally, because of all that, it just feels more real, more relatable to our own imperfect lives.
And all of that honesty creates what you might call a sense of psychological safety. An imperfect, broken space isn't demanding that you be perfect too. It doesn't judge you. And in that kind of safe zone, our minds can just wander freely, process what's going on, and maybe find a little bit of peace.
This connects so deeply to our own lives, doesn't it? I mean, our own process of healing or figuring things out is rarely some big, sudden, perfect event. It happens in pieces, in little fragments, through quiet realizations. Our minds basically recognize themselves in things that are still a bit broken, still in the process of becoming whole again.
So we've kind of journeyed through the psychology of emptiness and the honesty of things that are broken. Now let's circle all the way back to that first question and see what we've really found.
After talking about mental projection and mirrors and psychological safety, what is it? What's the source of that really profound feeling that seems to well up out of the silence?
Turns out the emotion we feel in an empty ruin or a quiet room isn't really coming from the outside world at all. It's an echo of our own inner landscape. What we're moved by is a reflection of ourself. So here's a little something to take with you. The next time you feel that pull towards an empty field or a forgotten little corner or some worn-out old object, lean into it. Pay attention. That space might just be a mirror, showing you some quiet, hidden truth about what's going on inside you.
And maybe what we're drawn to isn't decay at all. Maybe in a world that is always demanding perfection from us, we're all just looking for a little bit of honesty.